Hello my friends. Today I'm going to talk and demonstrate how I make elderberry syrup. Elderberry syrup being used for cold remedies and taken throughout the cold season. A little bit about the elderberries. When I harvest and pick the elderberries, I take along with me the plastic grocery bags. I can put a bunch of the bags in my pocket when I'm going, just crunch them up, and as I fill these bags I tie them off, knot them by the handles, and when I get them home I put them directly in my freezer. The berries are on the seed head and they're all together in that bag, and I freeze them. The best way to remove the berries is this method. Some people recommend take a fork and like a comb and comb the berries, and what that does, the berries want to stick to the little stems, and it breaks a lot of berries and makes a real big mess. But if you freeze the berries first and then just take that bag while they're still in there and just crunch that bag up, and all the berries will separate from those stems, and you can just pull the stems out and toss them, and it'll leave you a bag of berries with almost zero stems with the berries. That's the quickest, easiest way. There's another advantage to freezing the berries, and this is recommended with a lot of the berries. If you're going to use the berries, for example, like making wine, freezing the berries cause the berries, or the cell structure in the berry, to form a lot of small cracks, and it helps release all the liquids that's inside the berry. So it's recommended that you should freeze these if you're going to use them that way. So my elderberries I picked this summer, and it's been a few months now, and they've been in the freezer the whole time. So I'm going to go right from the frozen berries to extracting the juice. Elderberries have been used as a preventative medicine for thousands of years in Europe, in Asia, North Africa, and in the Americas. So it's a known health benefit herbal remedy, and this is a very good one, and it's very safe. Little precaution though is you do not want berries that are still green. You can't eat the leaves, the bark, and the unripened fruit. The elderberry in these items, the seeds also shouldn't be consumed in certain elderberries. The black ones that we eat around here, it's fine to consume the seeds. But these parts of the plant, the leaves, the seeds, the bark, they contain a substance that's related to cyanide, and people have, it's a poisonous substance, and people can have reactions to that. But if you don't eat, you want to have ripe berries when you're picking them. I've never had a problem with any of the elderberries. There is an elderberry that has white instead of the dark purple, almost blackberry, and the seeds are poisonous in those. They're known to be poisonous. You can use the fruit, but you can't consume any of the seeds. So I just stay away from that completely, and it's not worth playing with. You can see here I just put these berries in the pot here. There's still pieces of stems with this. This one wasn't cleaned properly. The stems won't hurt at all. If you were making wine, the stems do contain tannins, which in a wine, the tannins help improve its flavor with age. It makes the wine take on a characteristic of a creamy aftertaste, which is very desirable in a wine. And so this is something that wouldn't be frowned upon, having those in there. Now to extract the juice, you can see these are still frozen. I just turned the heat on. And what I'll do is keep moving these around and stirring, and as we progress I'll be crushing the berries, and I'll keep doing this for about 10-15 minutes, and that should have all the juice extracted. And then the next thing we do is add the other ingredient. Okay, I cooked this berries down, and I'm going to run them through a sieve. And I'll press what I can from the juice. Pressed from the berries. And going to measure what I'm collecting. There really isn't a recipe other than 2 to 1. Two to 1 being 2 juice to 1 honey. We don't want to waste any of the berries, so we want to try to get as much of the juice as we can. So what I do is, after I squeeze what I can get out of this, I'm going to add a little bit of water to this pulp and put it back on the stove, cook it again, separate it, then try to reduce it down so that we can get, whoops, forgot about measuring there. That much. The recipe doesn't need to be accurate. You just put honey in it to where it tastes good. And lots of honey is good. Okay, let's go and add a little bit of water to this. Put about a half a cup in, and back on the stove. And I'll cook that about 5 more minutes and then do the same process. Okay, 5 minutes passed. I have the pulp back in the sieve, and I'm going to try to extract the remaining juice. And of course I'll measure it. Instead of trying to press, this could be left to sit overnight and drain what will come out of it, and then just toss the pulp into the compost bin. Okay. Now we need half of that volume in honey. And the honey that I'm going to use is what I harvested off of my bees. Clean this out. This is last year's honey. It was in the basement where it's nice and cool. And being cold, it crystallized. So, this honey's never been heated. When you heat the honey, it changes its flavor. It has some real delicate sweet flavors before it's heated. Some honey I heat only to extract honeycomb from the remaining of the hive, or remaining of the comb. After I break the cone up and smash it, I put it in a colander and let it set overnight and let all the honey that's free-flowing to come off of it, and most of it will. Then the remaining comb still has honey sticking in it, and that I heat up on the oven just to melt the wax. And I think the temperature is 135 degrees. And as soon as it's all melted, then I take it off the heat, let it cool, the wax floats, and then I remove the wax, and then there's honey at the bottom of the container. Then that honey, when you taste that and compare it to the free flow, there is a definite taste difference between the two, and it's from the same batch. The unheated has much better flavor. Okay, I'm going by eye, and there's no set measurement, just roughly 2 to 1, and if you don't think it's sweet enough, add more honey. And that's the base rule there. That's half the jar. That looks like that's about half of what I put in there. So I'll use this amount. I'll taste it, and I'm sure it'll be good. And if I need more, I'll add more honey. I don't want the juice to be hot. It cooled down enough, and you can see the color. Definitely elderberry. If you heat the honey, it kills a lot of the enzyme. Make some change in there. As far as a cough or cold remedy, the honey, a lot of commercial cough drops, you'll see honey added to it. So they recognize that honey does a lot of soothing effect to the throat. Also, consuming the honey, especially if you're going to take a teaspoon of this every day as a cold preventative syrup, the honey feeds the probiotics in the gut system. So it's something that is good, that should be consumed every day anyway. There's still a blob in the bottom. There, most of the solids are broken up. I think it's dissolved pretty well. And we shall test. I don't know if I can call that medicine. I can put that over ice cream. There, I need to soothe my throat. That was good. The recommended dose is 1 teaspoon per day. Let's see. That's about what, 3 days, 4 days? 5 days. That's for the last 5 days. Okay, now what you want to do is put it into storage. Storage will be the refrigerator. shouldn't lick the bowl. Okay, these are not going to be processed because they are going right into the fridge. They can last the entire season. They can stay all winter, but I don't think they'll make it. That's only 2 jars. There you go. Thanks for watching, my friends. Bye-bye.